Hi. So we'll be discussing about the AI in hospitality in general, right? How we still have a gap in like in terms of the training data, etc. Right? Because what we need to understand is the LLMs, large language models like ChatGPT and Grok, Gemini and Llama and all that. They are trained on a lot of data, right? Now, ChatGPT 4 level or a Grok level frontier model to train, that is trained on 10 trillion words, basically. 10 trillion words, right? Now, all these LLMs, which are currently trained, they are mostly trained on different industries' data, law, finance, and others, right? Whereas in terms of hospitality data, because not a lot of hospitality data is available online, it's not trained on hospitality, data. Now, when you're asking any LLM about something specific for hotels, okay, it gives you the response, but the response might and most of the cases is not correct, and then basically it hallucinates and gives you a response which is not 100% accurate. Now, because there wasn't enough data available for hospitality online, these LLMs are not trained on that. Hence, because the LLMs doesn't have the data, then it ends up giving you response which is not 100% accurate, right? Now, and then obviously because of that there is this language barrier, because the hospitality language that we speak, the LLMs are not 100% aware of that, right? Because as I mentioned, these LLMs are in most cases, and the majority of the data they are trained on, it's from finance, law, healthcare, right? And hence for those fields, these LLMs are able to provide you much more accurate information as compared to the hospitality, right? Because for hotels, these AI models does not have the sufficient data, which obviously result in not a very high quality performance, right? For hospitality use cases. Now, why this matters, as it says on the slide, is because if the LLMs are not trained on a domain specific data, then you do not have accurate results output from these LLMs. Now, some of the challenges which are of like generic AI solutions in hospitality is the responses are not accurate, right? Because it can misinterpret, and even the information it might give you, the LLM, it's some classic hospitality and not modern day practices which are currently happening, right? Because it doesn't have the data, it lacks the industry knowledge. So all these industry jargons and operational workflows, those LLMs might not have full understanding of it. And then basically because of all of this issue, the ability of these LLMs to automate some of the tasks which are a bit more complex, it's limited, right? And then it cannot also tailor the guest experience, right? Because it lacks the data. We might see gradually as the new models come in, we might see more advances and some betterment. But so far, in initial models, they were lacking all of this. But now, since hotels start to use and implement these, AI agents and workflows, etc., they're using AI for that. So the hotels start to give, access to their data to these LLMs. So then LLMs might learn from the ongoing information which goes into them, and then might adopt, and in future for sure the results would be better. For now, like in the initial models, let's say ChatGPT 3, 3.5, etc., the results were not so great, but eventually it'll get better, I believe. Now, the cost of inaction, right? If in hospitality, usually there's this trend in hospitality that we are one of those last industries which adopt any new, innovative tech in most of the cases. Now, if we follow the same pattern in terms of AI adoption, etc., AI agents and AI in general, then we'll be left behind, because now this time the speed of execution and the speed of change is really fast, right? So what are some of the costs which we will bear in case we just stay stagnant and we don't start to adopt the AI solutions or the agentic workflow implementations, etc.? Is one is the missed automation and workflow optimization opportunities, right? There are many tasks which are repetitive. We do with every day the same task. Those can be automated, so we spend more time on strategic thinking and planning, and optimizing the processes, giving these repetitive tasks to AI. But if we don't do that, obviously our speed of innovation and adoption and change would be much lower as compared to other industries, and we'll be left behind. Basically, guest discontent, right? The generic AI, if it doesn't understand fully the hotel, and specifically your hotel, let's say the AI does not know much about your hotel, then it leads to impersonal and basically ineffective guest engagement. Because how AI, let's say in case you want to implement some AI solution, but that's not trained on your data, then obviously it can engage with the guest but will not be giving the information and the responses which are aligned with your specific hotel, right? Because it can just give some generic response which is not aligned to your specific hotel, and then that leads to guests thinking of whether this conversation with this AI bot, whatever, was useful or not, right? Competitive disadvantage. So obviously, as compared to other industries, we lag behind as with compared to other industries where the adoption is much faster, much quicker as compared to the hospitality. So then we'll be left behind as we do we did basically over the decades. Wasted investment, so poor return on investment from the AI that does not meet industry demands. Because if those AI models are not trained on hospitality specific data, we as hotels don't give the access to some of our knowledge about the properties to these LLMs. Even though if we want to implement some of those solutions, they will not be aligned to our property. So obviously the ROI won't be great, because obviously those models or the agents or workflow automation solutions, whatever we are using, they are not aligned. So obviously they are not aligned to our specific property and our problems or solutions or our USPs. Then obviously the ROI won't be great. The path forward basically is, we as an hotel, we need to aggregate all of our data from all those fragmented solutions, which we do have, right? So we aggregate the data, so we have a central kind of a database, so we have a more holistic picture, right? We can train, now they are even, so you do not have to go for the paid LLM solutions, etc. They are open source solutions. In case you understand the AI and the tag and how it works, you can build basically your own small models, which are trained on your specific data, which understands your hotel knowledge, which has the understanding of what your hotel or chain in general has to offer, right? So that way it is more aligned. You can even host it locally and offer those, use the solutions basically to streamline your operations, workflows, guest communication, etc. And then the use cases can be for guest communication, internal communication, price automation, price intelligence, and generic, in operations. You can use those solutions basically, but that's when your AI model which you are using, it's trained on your data, and it so that basically it is aligned with your goals and not some generic information which is out there on the internet. So unlocking hospitality's AI potential would be like, once we use it in the right manner, train the models on our data, etc., we can use these solutions to enhance guest experiences. We can achieve operational excellence by automating the repetitive tasks, improvise, strategize, and basically the time which we used to spend on those, repetitive tasks. Now, because the AI is doing those tasks, we use that time to strategize and come up with a better plan and overcome the challenges that we have, which leads and results into operational excellence. And then revenue growth, obviously. These AI models, if the algorithms and training is done right, and algorithms are developed correctly, it can um, it can predict the pricing. It can predict, basically it can recommend the pricing, monitor your competitor rates, act in real time, adjust the prices in real time, so that you don't lose, you act fast, and basically you'll be able to drive the results which you need. And these are some of the use cases. There are more. It just depends on how deep you want to go in terms of AI adoption. But remember that data is the key. If you own the data, you control the data, and you are able to aggregate the data from multiple sources. You are able to give your AI, workflows or model or agents access to that data in real time, so that it communicates with it. You can drive a significant impact, a positive impact, I would say. But in case you have built a really great and advanced AI model, etc., but doesn't have access to your data, not able to integrate with your systems, then basically that is going to be a big challenge, because you will not be able to drive the ROI which you would expect. So I think streamlining your data process, aggregating it, and making sure that all the AI solutions which you are going to build or implement has access to the right data. That's the first step you need to think, and then build the solutions around it, and based on your needs. Hope this was informative. In case you have any questions, comments, leave it in the comment down below. And the next video we'll do is about AI agents, right? So we'll explore the AI agents in hospitality.